Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Xale, juk len. Today we are joined by a very special guest, Olimatou, who is a mental health practitioner.
Welcome, Olimatou. First of all, we just want to start off with asking you, what is a mental health practitioner?
Thank you, Mariam. Thank you, Kinneh. Thank you for having me on your platform. As you have said, my name is Olimatou Chogan, and I am a mental health practitioner currently working in the UK. I'm originally from the Gambia, and my job at the moment currently includes working with a specific group of people with mental health issues. And just for clarification purposes, I would say that my job specifically deals with people who got mental disorders, which include things like schizophrenia, depression, and borderline personality disorders. I know it's a big framework we have when we talk about mental disorders, so I do not particularly work with people who have developmental disorders, like the people on the autistic spectrum or Asperger's, or the people who got brain injuries, like people, or brain damage. For example, people who got dementia, Alzheimer's. I specifically work with people who have got psychosis, depression, and borderline personality disorder in particular. Notwithstanding, I do still work with people who got the other things I mentioned earlier, like the learning disabilities, when they are in crisis of experiencing psychosis and things like that. So, but that is my specialty.
Okay. How did you get into it?
Yeah, so mine was a long journey. I could say I got into it accidentally. I started working as a HCA when I was going to college, initially to complete my study program of being an IT specialist. So I do actually have a background in IT, and having completed that and doing going on to do my work placement in IT as a system engineer. After I finished my MCA, I did a work placement for 6 weeks. Found it really boring after the 6 weeks, and decided to go back and work as a HCA. And then I thought to myself, it's really time to reconsider what I want to do with my life. And that was how I then went to do my training. Further, on top of that, I decided to do my master's in mental health studies 2 years after that. And then I decided to do a second master's in psychology, which I did for the 2 years. And I'm now looking at my postgraduate as in trying to do my PhD in psychology as well.
That's amazing, doing a PhD as well.
Well, it's not been an easy road for me, and it's not been a straightforward road as well, like I was saying. But I guess when we're young, because I particularly thought of all sorts of things. Initially, I thought I maybe wanted to be a lawyer, then I thought that's not my route. My dad, God bless his soul, always wanted me to be a lecturer for some reason. I don't know why. It's like I always I could see you being a lecturer, but unfortunately he passed away in 2014. So after finishing my second master's, I remember once working in and being offered to lecture, and also, giving exams, supervising some nursing students that came for exams. And I was thinking, well, maybe he's looking down on me, and this would have made me proud. But honestly, after that, I was like, I know this is not my route. I want to be in the hospital, and I want to work with patients, and I want to see them get better, and that's what motivates me. So I thought, I'll do this for some time, but I need to go back to the hospital.
Yeah, and because I always say it takes special people to work in hospital, and on top of that, what else motivates you to work within mental health?
Well, like I was saying to you, especially the type of field that I am into. I've worked in different sectors of the mental health system. I've worked in the lockdowns, which are the PQs, where we have people cannot go out or anything, to now I'm working in places which are called crisis houses. People are there, some people like to call it halfway houses. People are there because they're admitted voluntarily. They're not admitted under the Mental Health Act. They start to feel unwell. They've been to their GP, or they even call us to self-refer and say, listen, I think I'm feeling unwell. This and this and this is happening in my life. Can I come in? So, pardon me, sometimes friends or family sometimes ask me, when I have some chats with them, I was like, oh yeah, I was working with this doctor or this lawyer, and then this and this and this. Yeah, that's how I know them. I know them from work, and they look at me like, I'm like, why are you looking at me like that? And they're like, well, you said this person is a lawyer or a doctor or this and that. How did you come to work with them? Like, yeah, they're just human beings like
yeah.
and they've been through maybe a phase of depression or something. So where I am at the moment, people like me and you who feel down, and they come for a period of time, and then they go back about their business. But having said that, I've had lots of experience working in the lockdowns as well, like the PQs, which are the intensive units where people actually need to be in for a certain amount of time before they can go back. And also I have done a lot of work, about 3 years, in a female-only unit which admitted women who were raped and then it affected their mental health. It was a difficult job for me to do, but I think that it made me grow a lot. It made me learn a lot, especially around myself being a woman. And those were 3 years that I treasured a lot. Yeah. One of the units in London.
Yeah. Because I think people don't know as well the side effects of being a victim and how it plays on. And I think also a lot of people might not be aware of the lots of different mental health issues people face. Maybe because depression is the most common, I don't know if it's most common, but most spoken about probably.
Yes, and also I understand the program we're talking about it generally, and also what we would like to link it back to our culture and where we're coming from in Gambia and stuff. And from my experience growing up in Gambia, when we used to talk about mental health, our mind straight away would go to people with psychosis, the people running around in the streets. That's what we would talk about. We would immediately think about when somebody talks about mental health and you need help and things like that. It was only after I came to this country, which I did when I was still in my teenage years, that I found different sectors, different diagnoses, different things available for different people. Because growing up in Gambia and doing my first secondary school years there before coming over, yes, we had a visit to the only psychiatric unit at the time in the country, which was then called the Kampama. It's now shut down because of the poor state it was in and everything. And those are the type of people you found, people who had psychosis, and sometimes they were in chains and not very nice conditions. But then after coming over here, and obviously not only coming over here, studying as well, opened my eyes to a lot of things and different diagnoses, like you mentioned. We got people with depression, we got people with borderline personality disorder, which as well I don't find very much being discussed in our society.
Not at all.
And because of the way some of the symptoms present with people like that, often I would think to myself, if, for example, I grew up in Gambia coming here, never ever seen somebody self-harm by cutting themselves or anything. So when I initially came before doing my studies, I was thinking back, reflecting, if somebody took a razor blade in Gambia during my days and started cutting themselves, somebody would say you're just rude. What's happening with you? But we didn't have any tools to explore such things. But having studied, opened my eyes to a lot of things as well.
Would you say that maybe people are not educated, so they educated about those kind of acts out on depression or other mental health, so maybe that's why they can't be as sympathetic, or they don't know how to handle it
the way it is? Maybe I would say education is one area. Education, we need a lot of it to know a lot, because like I say myself, I was ignorant to some of the things. Also knowing when to blend our culture and whatever others give us or teach us, which would make things better, is really important. It's not that just because we're saying this is what we found out, this is what we studied, we're going to throw away our culture. Not necessarily so. It's whatever works, and whatever works for one, that the professionals would work towards. Like whenever we do, for example, I remember a couple of years ago, I used to work in another crisis house. And then we had a lovely gentleman from Sierra Leone, who I'm just going to call Patient X. So he came in, he was happy to work with us. He was happy to use the medication and everything. But he said on condition we allow him to do some of the beliefs he got from Nigeria, which was he got some herbs that we work with him with. He said, if you allow me to use it, I'm not going to ingest it, I'm not going to do anything to harm myself, but I think that your medication is good, but if you allow me to do this as well, maybe I would get better. So in the end, the psychiatrists in the unit were like, you know what, if he's happy to go with our treatment, and this is not harboring it, let's just allow him to do what he wants. Because he was like, otherwise I'm not touching your medication. And then we allowed him, They allowed him after the meeting.
Amazing.
And then, he felt much better by the time we discharged him. So sometimes I think it's us respecting each other's cultures and boundaries. It's not that one culture is better than the other. And it's also about us learning. And it's also about recognizing that we take the good from the culture. It's not that we're going to take the bad things from our culture, because I know you might have had sometimes in the news where we've taken some of our psychiatric patients not to the Tanka psychiatric unit in Gambia, but to other places, and they get tied up, they get bitten. There was someone on the news who died because they were they were taking demons away from them, so they just bit them up and tied them. It's about taking the good from our culture and leaving what is unnecessary.
100%.
Because I've got a few statistics here about the amount of people in Gambia that actually do suffer from mental health disorders. So, for example, according to the World Health Organization, it is estimated that about 120,000 people have a mental disorder that requires treatment. So, for example, some of the solutions that you were talking about that we, do have in place here, do you think that maybe if we were to do that in Gambia, it could help with the whole mental health situation that's going on?
It's good you spoke about stats. It just reminds me of the latest article I read on the Royal College of Psychiatry regarding their last visit to the Gambia. So they sent a psychiatrist out to the Gambia recently, and he went on a voluntary basis, and he worked with Tanka, which is the current, the only psychiatric unit in the Gambia, and it has 60 patients currently. It's a limitation. And he did a study, and he followed, and he came back up with the different type of medication they use and how limited it is compared to what we have in the UK. He also spoke about the different systems we have of admission, noting that the only CMHT, which is the Community Mental Health team we have in Gambia, is the one based at Banjul in the Edward Francis Small Hospital. There's one in the whole country, whilst compared to the UK, not only do we have one for the borough, we have inside the borough, like the borough I work for, we have 4 different teams, not talk about the whole of London, but this is one for the whole of Gambia. And out of those CMHTs, which are the community mental health teams, they are limited as in the fact that people have to go and find them in the hospital, unlike here where we have different teams going to visit you. If you felt that you didn't want to be in hospital and you're not feeling well, somebody will come to your house. Actually, I've worked with a team that goes to your house, checks you up, gives you medication, and makes sure you're okay, and see whether you want to be in hospital or not. He also said that by the time his visit came to an end at the psychiatric unit, they ran out of the antipsychotic medications that they were giving out. And when he asked, the pharmacist was like, yes, we would have another supply, but within 3 weeks. In the meantime, the patients are encouraged to ask their families to buy the supply for them privately, otherwise they couldn't get any more. Those are the negatives. However, I could see a positive that he came out with from being in the Gambia. He said he's never seen any society whose relatives were as supportive.
So we're just going to go on a quick break, guys. We'll be back soon.
There is a land not far away where the sea meets the shore on a golden beach, where the river flows through the forest in 1,000 creeks, a place where people smile and say hello. Welcome to the Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa.
A date for your diary. UK's first Gambian fashion and exhibition weekend in collaboration with InterFace Gambia TV, Ziza Creation, Global Hands and Neutro by Fenye. Live in London, Saturday 30th of June 2018. Designers are welcome to register interest. It's all about raising awareness of the fantastic work being done in our community. More information.
Go to www.interfacegambia.com.
Please keep this date free.
Now that I have saved some money to build my dream home, I'm really confused about which estate company to approach. My friend had a bad experience with a particular estate agency after completing his payment and could not even get his title deed. This is serious.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Thank you.
My name is Oli. I'm from InterFace Investments.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
You know, I must say you came at a very right time.
Really?
I was thinking about houses.
Great.
What can your company offer me?
EJ Investments can offer you a lot. We're unique in the market.
Okay.
We own our properties and we ensure that they're developed with modern technologies. They're affordable and they are strategic locations. We don't just sell pieces of land, but we create settlements.
What makes your company different from others?
We're different from all real estate companies in the Gambia because what we have to offer is affordability, safety, and security. We ensure that you get a legal contract from when you pay your deposit, and within 4 weeks of paying your final settlement, we make sure you receive your title deed.
4 weeks?
4 weeks.
That's interesting.
Yes. Now tell me, what real estate serves your needs?
It's absolutely EJ, investment, and real estate agency.
Yo, this one for a blessed Gambia. The more we work together, the more we celebrate, the more we come together, the more we celebrate. Come on, let's get together. There's a place I love to be, the Gambia, the Gambia.
As the Gambian people were when it comes to love of their family or love of their patients who were there. He said if patients absconded, next morning the families would bring them back with them, and they were very loving. They were always there sharing with them and checking how things are. But like we were discussing before, it is a sad situation, especially with the mental health in the Gambia. There's very limited resources that is available. I would like to say a big shout out to the people working at Tanka Tanka, whom I have been able to collaborate with, and I've spoken to the deputy manager Safi, and we've been in touch, and I would like to say a massive big up to them because they are working with limited resources in a difficult situation. I don't think I would have been able to do a job as effective as they are doing with the limited resources they have compared to all the resources we have over here. So they're doing very well with the limited that's available to them. So I think, for example, the government need to really consider, it's high time they consider mental health as a real important branch of the health sector as well.
100%. Yeah. What do you think that those of us Gambians in the diaspora can contribute to help mental health be better in Gambia?
Thank you, Kinneh. I know earlier we said, yes, the government needs to take responsibility, but then again, what are we Gambians doing ourselves to help? So as for myself, my part, in 2014, I was having the same conversation with a friend, psychologist that I used to work with, and I was just complaining about the poor state of mental health services in the Gambia, and then she did ask me the same question, so what are you going to do about it? So off of that conversation, I set up an organization in 2014. It's called Better Towards Africa. We are online, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we have our page as well. So not only are we collaborating with Tanka Tanka to see how we can help, we also try and use it as a learning space where we edit and publish articles. Sometimes I get my colleagues who I work with to come and blog as guest bloggers on the on the side, and I blog myself. We get to do we get to do how to call it, event promotions when there are Gambian events in the UK, and try and raise awareness in our community, in our little Gambian community. Also, like I said, we liaise with Tanga Tanga. So our last project was last year, Ramadan. We sent over, if you go onto our website or on our Twitter page, you would say we've liaised with Tanga Tanga, check what was needed. And the lovely deputy manager, Safi, gave us a list. And we sent back a lot of equipment and things that they needed, which we later have put up for people to see, and people who donated were informed that this is what we did and this is how it's going to be. I know because of my busy schedule, and I am always someone who doesn't have a lot of time. But more often than not, I know that's where my heart is. I know I want to give back. I know I try a lot to do that. And yeah, that's what I do personally and for my bit in mental health. Also, I have recently been nominated to sit on the board as an advisor for an organization called Gambia Health Matters. They as well are interested in all health related issues happening in Gambia. And recently, last month, we were able to donate some equipment to the hospital, and at the moment in the process of sponsoring one of the wards at the Edward F. Small Hospital in Banjul. Yeah, so search them up, look them up as well. They call Gambia Healthcare Matters. And yeah, I know there's a whole lot of other organizations as well trying to do their bit. But as I said earlier, the government need to lead the way, because everything, I believe, would just not be able to be done via our little organizations with donations and everything. They need to take the lead, and then others would follow.
100%.
And I think it's important as well to just have simple discussions like this about it as well, just to acknowledge it and have it more, I don't know, like more exposed within the Gambian community as well, especially among as youngsters as well.
Yes. And when it comes to mental health issues, I think our generation coming up, we are kind of more interested in talking about it, because we're more open as well talking about it, because we know growing up there's kind of a culture of taboo relating to that. Initially, I remember when I first started studying, people were like, why really would you want to put your MCSA away when you could have been like a computer engineer and just want to do mental health? And then later I was like, okay, I'm actually doing a master's in mental health. And like, oh my God, girl, are you really serious? Yeah, this is what I do, and I'm gonna do a second master's. And now I'm looking at doing my PhD. And then I think then they're like, okay, this guy's not even joking. She's serious about it. So yeah, and at the beginning of the year, I was like, okay, I got something to tell you guys. I've now been promoted to management. I'm really serious about this. And they're like, okay. I said, well, it's about time we need to stop marginalizing mental health and thinking about what to do. And also, like I come back to the Gambian government anyway. I had a chat with someone once, and I was trying to encourage them because they're a doctor, which we would come to. I was telling him, he was like, really, I need to talk to you about something. He was studying, and I had a chat with him, and he was like, I'm really, really interested about mental health, but it's just that the encouragement and everything else is not there for me to branch out and continue, because as I'm talking to you now, like I was telling you about the recent project of the psychiatrist who went from Royal College of Psychiatry to go to Gambia. At the moment, we don't have any psychiatrists in the Gambia.
Which is mind-blowing.
Yeah. All we have is the medical doctors. We have different fields, but you will see zero. A psychiatrist, zero. So he was telling me, but I don't know how people will take it. That's why I said, well, I explained to him that a psychiatrist would be you being a doctor plus some training. Just you're specifying in mental health, and then that's what you would do. He's gone on now to become a medical doctor. Maybe the heart wasn't in it or something, but I think we need to encourage it out there. whatever others are earning is what you're earning, if you're not earning more. And then you're helping out people, and that's what you want to do. So if you're doing a job and you're able to go back to bed at night and say, you know what, I've achieved this and this tonight, I'm really happy, I think you're helping out, and that's a good thing. So I think the stigma and the taboo needs to be, taken out. Somebody like me now, I'm just very difficult to shake. If I want to do something, it's what I want to do. If I want to help out in a way, it's what I want to do. Like, nobody can talk me out of it. But I know it's not easy for everybody to do that. I know everybody's not like me, and everyone's different. So we need to kind of encourage each other. 100%. And that's what we want to do. And I also know that they do say, I've been having a lot of messages of people encouraging me now that I'm in this place, like, why don't you go back home? And I say two things. One is, are you going to pay me my if you do pay me my wage, yes, I'm coming back home. But I say that in a joking way because I know it's helping out and whatever. But in each eventually, yes, that's the plan. But before you do anything, you need to get to the stage you're stable, you're comfortable, and you know that this is what you want to do. And you go. And I was raised by a man, my dad, who always told us, like, he'll be like, he's like, I'm happy with whatever you're studying, I'm not going to interfere or whatever, but what I need you to bring me in this house is you need to bring me excellence, no mediocrity. So he always says, like, whatever you want to study it fine, but know that I want you to get to the very top. And I got brothers whom I look up to. All of them are really at the top of their careers. So for me, I really definitely think I need to study to the level I'm happy with before I'm able to go back. But yes, eventually I would like to go back and help out.
Going back home to make sure that we do have something there.
Especially when you're somewhere where you have the advantage of having experience and being educated, so you can go back and share that with people, because that is good. And I think the core of it is wanting to do it, especially with health, helping other people.
Exactly.
That is the core of it. Oh wow. I just want to ask about you transitioning from Gambia to the UK.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna tell my story. I'm sure it's just like a whole lot of other people who will be watching and whatever. So because of the last regime, a whole lot of us Gambians came over, and so was my family as well involved. So I came here at a very young age. I came in my teenage years, actually. And like I said to you, I came and my plan was like, I'm gonna come over after high school and I'm gonna do a course in IT and whatever, which I did do, and I still have the certificate and whatever not. I could set up a computer network engineer for me, for you guys if you wanted to. But then after finishing whatever, went to do a 6-week placement, and I was like, no, I'm talking to nobody here. It's only computers here. I ran back to the wards. But then my dad was like, yes, you could do that, I'm happy for you, but only if you go back to and study what you wanted. But like a lot of people, we came over because of mainly because of the military takeover that happened in my country. Both my dad and my brother were in the army, and then when things happened, we had to come over. And now I have to say, alhamdulillah, everyone is allowed to go back home, and things are much easier. And now that we got a new good environment where we're able, all of us are happy to go back home and work. It's just for the new government, to make it easy and available and provide the tools we need and opportunities, so that all of us, the young generation coming up, when we finish, we're able to take back our, like Mariam was saying earlier, there's a lot of brain drain. We got lots of experts. You guys are going to uni, going to complete whatever you want to do, and then we need people like you back home as well. But only if the right atmosphere is provided and everything.
Just going to go for another quick break. We'll be back soon.
Thank you.
A date for your diary. UK's first Gambian fashion and exhibition weekend in collaboration with InterFace Gambia TV, Xale Creation, Global Hands and Neutro by Fenye. Live in London, Saturday 30th of June 2018. Designers are welcome to register interest. It's all about raising awareness of the fantastic work being done in our community. More information.
Go to www.interfacegambia.com.
Please keep this date free.
Now that I have saved some money to build my dream home, I'm really confused about which estate company to approach. My friend had a bad experience with a particular estate agency after completing his payment and could not even get his title deed. This is serious.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Thank you.
My name is Oli. I'm from InterFace Investments.
Understood.
Thank you.
You know, I must say you came at a very right time.
Really?
I was thinking about houses.
Great.
What can your company offer me?
EJ Investments can offer you a lot. We're unique in the market.
Okay.
We own our properties and we ensure that they're developed with modern technologies. They're affordable and they are strategic locations. We don't just sell pieces of land, but we create settlements.
What makes your company different from others?
We're different from all real estate companies in the Gambia because what we have to offer is affordability, safety, and security. We ensure that you get a legal contract from when you pay your deposit, and within 4 weeks of paying your final settlement, we make sure you receive your title deed.
4 weeks?
4 weeks.
That's interesting.
Yes. Now tell me, what real estate service you need?
It's absolutely EJ, investment, and real estate agency.
Yo, this one for a blessed Gambia. The more we work together, the more we celebrate, the more we come together, the more we celebrate. Come on, let's get together. There's a place I love to be. The Gambia, the Gambia.
There is a land not far away where the sea meets the shore on a golden beach, where the river flows through the forest in 1,000 creeks, a place where people smile and say hello. Welcome to the Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa.
Because it does feel like a bit of a culture shock when you try to balance the Britishness and the Gambianness.
Yes.
So, what was it like when you first moved in as a teenager, being Gambian and then?
It was not too bad for me in the sense that I had family here, and also my mom and dad came over for holidays at times, and I went over studying as well. I went over, and also a lot of my friends that I went to high school with came over as well.
Nice.
So for me, it was not that difficult to blend in and just actually make a whole lot of friends.
Yeah.
Also, some of my friends were here. Although when we came over, most of us went to different units, but we still kept in touch. We would, if we had holidays. So it wasn't. I'm not part of the people who are going to say they came here and it was difficult for them, like the people, our uncles.
Yeah.
They came here in the, I've been here for 16 years now, and when I came, no, I would be lying if I said that. It wasn't so hard for me. I had family, and sometimes my parents came over, so I really cannot complain about that. I'm thankful to God. It was not hard for me.
Yeah, that's good.
That sense, yeah. Obviously, you have to work hard. Like
100%.
There was the time like coming in. The shock I would say for me was like, here I had to do everything to myself. In Gambia,
the luxury.
What did I do? I had sometimes I tell my friends that I went to uni with, like the people from other countries or people here, like it's only here I would actually take my clothes and wash it and whatever. I had a maid, and I used to, yes, I had a maid actually. But no, over here, that was the good thing. It taught me a lesson.
Independence.
Independence, like there's no maid running after you. You have to get up and do this and do that, and you have to go to school and you have to walk at the same time. So that was like, that is something I learned
I think that's why we
help
love going to Gambia, because when we go, I don't do anything.
Yes,
I know.
It's like a proper holiday for
and
me.
Mariam.
Yeah, it's such a luxury when you go
And
back.
you're back here now.
Yeah.
But it's like back to
But it's
reality.
weird because before I went to Gambia, I didn't know all of that. So when you get there, you're like, huh? I don't even have to do the bed, or I don't have to wash the plate, or
You've got breakfast there waiting for you.
With
It is
everything.
nice. Obviously, that's not everyone's experience.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true as well. It's not everyone's experience, and it depends on where you come from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and things like that. But I think for me,
Yeah.
if you ask me anything
Yeah.
hard, I would say that was like the wake up call. for me.
Yeah.
Listen, no one's running after you. You're not a princess. You have to get up and you have to walk, and that made me start. And I was lucky that happened to me in my teenage years,
Yeah.
and then I was able to blend in, and now you know, it's part of me that I know I have to do things. Yeah. Yeah, it will teach you that you need to work hard in life or whatever you want.
100%. Well, we see that you are also active on Twitter. So how do you find that the platform is getting the conversation about mental health out there, for not just Gambians but everybody?
I would first of all say, start by saying that it's very, very nice being on Twitter and meeting people like yourself.
Yeah.
And also it's like, it's a platform where we're very open again, and to discuss these issues where in other areas we wouldn't have been, other places we wouldn't have been able to. But the nice thing about Twitter is like, yes, we could do all these things, but the dangerous thing about Twitter, as someone has rightly put it once, especially for us, the Gambians, someone once made an observation and said, you know what, I actually think Twitter is the Brookwood Heights of Gambia. And we're just in our little cocoon, and what we know, and when you want to engage the masses, you have to go out. So, which is why I was, when they have the Gambian program sometimes, the last one I attended, I was able to get a stall, go out with my leaflets and go out with some of my partners, and we were trying to raise awareness and everything, because it's not really beneficial just preaching to the choir, because if I just stay in Twitter, what I'm going to tell you is probably what you know about already and everything. So we really need to sometimes expand our because you can see that sometimes the conversations we all have this lovely conversation
and it stays there.
Other people, I'm not going to say it on Facebook, because then people say we're doing this comparison, but just that sometimes you go out and then you look at the opinions out there and you're like, oh really, we've been talking about something different in Twitter, and now look at this is what people are saying on other platforms, on when you go out, this is what people are saying. But having said that, I would also like to mention that there's recently been a lot of awareness, especially around mental health in our Gambian community, especially in the UK. Not only around the area I'm working, but I'd like to commend organizations that are really working on especially autism. I've noticed that in the past couple of years or so, a lot of work is being done, especially women who have children who are autistic are coming together, doing events. I recently saw an event lately, I think was it this month, last month, talking about autism awareness month, and everybody was out there lighting it blue, and I was like, wow, it's all coming up now. People are doing it. It's all coming up now.
We are about to get into the game You Know Your Gambian When with Olimatou, where we just pick out a strip with a hopefully relative experience of being Gambian, and we just want to see if it relates to you. So you can pick one out. Sorry, the jar's very small. Just read it out.
It's for me to read out? Oh, okay. So this one says, you know you Gambian when Christians even say Assalamu alaikum.
It's very beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful country with a beautiful culture and people who live harmoniously. So even though they might be from different religions. So part of my mom's family is Christian, and I got Christian cousins, and they come to us for Julie, and I get my nanburu at Easter.
I have the same as well. I have a Catholic. My mum's side has Catholics and nanburu every time. Julie, they come with stuff as well, and even when we go to events, you have the imams that nyan, and then you have the Catholic leaders that nyan, which is really nice. So it's very nice and peaceful, and may it continue. Do you want to pick one?
Thank you. My chubby hand. You know you're Gambian when you add milk to every dessert.
tin milk.
Tin milk, yeah.
Peak.
Gente.
Yeah.
Cheddar.
Yeah,
That's not really a dessert,
that's
but
not-
you
yeah.
can make it a dessert by adding milk and sugar to it.
So you girls asked me about culture shock when I moved to Nigeria.
Yeah.
One of it for me was buttermilk. And I
Really?
don't like it.
Oh no, you don't like
I
it?
still go and buy my tin milk. I don't drink buttermilk with my tea.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Tin
can't do it
milk.
with my tea, but I have to have tin milk to be
So
honest.
yeah, that was
Culture
one
shock
for me.
for
Yeah.
Let me see what's here. Hopefully we haven't had this before. You know you're Gambian when you all eat from one plate.
Yeah, my household all the time.
In my house we eat on one plate.
Is it?
Gambia is the hardest. There's like 15 of us all reaching in one plate.
But that makes it nice.
It does make it nice.
Until someone takes your meat, no.
Well, that's true. But then again, like culturally, I remember us growing up and going to my nan's house because in my house we didn't have a lot of us. So when I went to my grandma's house, because my dad's from Senegal originally, but my mom's from Gambia, so we used to go to my nan's house in Banjul, and a whole lot of us cousins and everyone, and she just there used to be people from all over as well, and she just be like, even if they're not related, you have to give them food. So we used to eat in a bigger bowl there, and I think it was just good for teaching us how to share. Because in our homes we come from this nuclear family where it's just like father, mom, and the kid. That mom and the kids, but it's good for sharing. Initially you would not like it. Then that's how you like to how you learn to share.
I think it also allows parents to discipline their kids with eating a lot, because you might not notice.
Use your left hand. My dad would take the spoon.
And then you need that's where the place, like you said, that you learn that you need to eat with your right hand, and you need to be polite when eating with your elders, and I don't know how significant that is though, because then you're like the kid and you're like, no, don't touch the meat.
I always say that.
And then they get sick, but to be fair, they do give you.
That's when your mom like uses her hand to like cut it and dish it out.
They do give you. They just
like
want you to be polite. And they teach you. So it's something we enjoy. I don't know when we have kids whether
I think I might do that.
I don't think I'll. I don't. I'm not a big. Because my house now we're all adults, so it's like
you all eat everybody takes. But then again, it's hard in this country because everybody goes to uni, work, whatever, different times.
So everyone gets home different
together, but it's just never. There's never enough time to do it together.
It's different. I thought it might have come from where maybe before when people were less fortunate, couldn't afford big meals, so maybe everyone had to share. That's what I thought. Maybe that's where it came from, but it is nice. It's a very Gambian thing.
Who's turn it, mine? No, your turn.
No, I just did it. This could be the last one.
Yeah. And the last one for me is, you know you're Gambian when you're told that leaving your shoes upside down is bad luck. Yes.
I believe that. I don't know why. When I see shoes, I'm like, nope. And then I turn it.
Another one of my grandmas as well. I think, but as I grow older, some of these things I classify as like, old wives' tales.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't nowadays consider superstition. Yeah.
Even so, you still kind of like.
It's in your mind.
Kind of,
But
if I see shoes that are like, I still have to like, even though I don't really necessarily believe it,
I don't want the bad.
It's like just in case it's true.
Exactly. And I know things like that. One of my friends told me that if you put your hand back down, you're not gonna get money. And since he told me that, every time I see my back down, like. But
well, it's been amazing having you on the show. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. But where can we find you on social media?
So you can find me on social media via my organization on Facebook, which is Better Thoughts Africa, or you can get in touch via Twitter, which is @BTA, or you can find me personally with my name on Facebook, Mamoli Chogan, or you can get Lingia23 on Twitter.
Amazing. Thank you very much.
You can see the website as well as www.betterthoughtsafrica.com if you want any further information.
Yeah. Doing amazing work.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you very much. And thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
A date for your diary. UK's first Gambian fashion and exhibition weekend in collaboration with InterFace Gambia TV, Xale Creation, Global Hands and Neutro by Xale. Live in London, Saturday 30th of June 2018. Designers are welcome to register interest. It's all about raising awareness of the fantastic work being done in our community. More information.
Go to www.interfacegambia.com.
Please keep this date free.
Now that I have saved some money to build my dream home, I'm really confused about which estate company to approach. My friend had a bad experience with a particular estate agency after completing his payment and could not even get his title deed. This is serious.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Thank you.
My name is Oli. I'm from InterFace Investments. Thank you.
You know, I must say you came at a very right time.
Really?
I was thinking about houses. What can your company offer me?
EJ Investments can offer you a lot. We're unique in the market.
Okay.
We own our properties and we ensure that they're developed with modern technologies. They're affordable and they are strategic locations. We don't just sell pieces of land, but we create settlements.
What makes your company different from others?
We're different from all real estate companies in the Gambia because what we have to offer is affordability, safety, and security. We ensure that you get a legal contract from when you pay your deposit, and within 4 weeks of paying your final settlement, we make sure you receive your title deed.
4 weeks?
4 weeks.
That's interesting.
Yes. Now tell me, what real estate service needs?
It's absolutely EJ, investment, and real estate agency.
There is a land not far away where the sea meets the shore on a golden beach, where the river flows through the forest in 1,000 creeks, a place where people smile and say hello. Welcome to the Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa. The Gambia is the destination for a fabulous holiday. A love of nature is in the soul of the country. The many forests and parks teem with wildlife. Up in the trees, red and green monkeys gather and sometimes come down to play. Other natives of this forest are perhaps shy. If you love birdwatching, this is one of the best places in the world to see them. Over 560 species live in and migrate to our land. Organised tours with expert guides make it easy to spot some of the many rare species which abound in the forests. If it is luxurious surroundings and a warm welcome you're looking for, this is the perfect place. On the golden sands by the mighty ocean, our fabulous hotels offer everything modern travellers would expect. High quality, attention to detail, personal service, and more. Imagine a private retreat buried deep in the forest. A special place to relax, recharge, and get in touch with our culture and nature. So go discover the smiling coast of Africa.